Harris Heller, and we are live. They can hear us. J-Pie warning. They didn't hear your comment, but Harris Heller Stream Beats is what I was talking about. You can all of his music, and you can find it on Spotify. Anywhere you find music, you got all that stuff there. But anyways, we are live with episode 69, so that's why Mangoose is here, because he's been waiting this whole time for the 69. But welcome everybody. This is a Fault Partner Panel, episode 69. This is a show where we talk about Fault and its current state and what's going on. And we like to do things like we're going to do this week, showcase some of the community members and the things they do. So with that, let's go through, introduce ourselves. We'll start with you, Killswitch, and then move on to the order that we know. Go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? It's Killswitch here. The name you hear on all of your tutorial videos that you see on YouTube. I'm glad to be here. Hoping it's gonna be a good time, and hope we get to, talk about some good stuff. And so.
Yes, excited to have you here. We've been in the works of it, trying to find a time that works for all of us to get you here. So I'm glad we finally able to find that time. So, Mangoose?
What's up, everybody? I'm the Mangoose. You are awesome. Killswitch. Good to meet you, man.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah, really enjoy your videos. I would just like to say that if Helen Keller did put out royalty-free music, I bet it would suck. That shit would be terrible. And unfortunately, fucking Windu didn't learn his goddamn lesson and went ass to mouth again without wiping that shit down. So he is sick in bed. Over to you, Bearded.
What's going on, everybody? I'm the Beard Wolverine, your Michigan Wonder, and excited to bring this show to you. That sounds like, what are you giggling about? Nothing yet. Like, what? It's like you are giggling about something. But oh no, what's going on, buddy? I hope your travels to TwitchCon are going pretty smooth. I know they started off pretty rough, but I hope things will get better. Thanks for stopping in. Yeah, so last week we weren't able to hang out. We weren't able to talk with you guys. We had stuff. We had the guest host we were supposed to have last week dealing with Hurricane Ian issues. I also had Windu had hurricane issues, so we just decided, because there wasn't much information to put out, we were just going to push it to this episode and move on, and then we'll have to get that guest host rescheduled for this week, because we already had Killswitch scheduled for this week. So we'll be moving on with that. But the biggest thing, and let's just jump right into the spiciness of this, the biggest thing I want to talk about is the Iggy Master Race, and how it was handled, how it went, I don't know, it just, what were your guys', let's, before we even give you the spiciness of it, what were you guys' thoughts on the Iggy Master Race and how it went?
I thought it went, I don't know, it was strange to me. Strange, I guess, is the way I'll put it. It didn't seem very coordinated, seemed kind of thrown together, like last minute, but I mean, I know those things can be fairly difficult, I guess, to coordinate, but I feel like still this is only the second mastery race we've had. So is it second or third?
I think it's the second.
Second one.
Crunch is the first one we only had, right? We only have Crunch and then this one. So yeah, it's only a second. If somebody in chat can correct us, please do. But other than that, I think it's only the second one we have.
Yeah. So I feel like, I mean, it felt a little bit. I liked the community involvement with like the community damage dealt with Iggy, that type of stuff. Like that was a nice touch. I did enjoy that. The loot boxes that came along with it, like. That was good, but I still felt like the means of getting the mastery XP was still felt off. Like the fact that AI matches you could just win that mastery race straight off AI matches alone was, I don't know.
Yeah. Goose, what are your thoughts?
I mean, we've talked about it before, how I don't think mastery races are particularly good for Fault in its current state. Because it does breed that toxicity. I do like the community thing. I think that's absolutely great, and that's what they should just stick with. we kind of bitched that they didn't do the mastery race along with the Iggy release, but that's because we expected more with the Iggy release, you know? Like
Right.
I still like if you're going to do a mastery race, do it when you release the hero, not a couple weeks after you release the hero, right? So I think that they should put the mastery races on the back burner, just let it go and just say, hey, from now on, it's just going to be community events. That way, if you are getting the shit kicked out of you and it's by an Iggy, you're like, well, at least that guy is contributing. He may be demolishing my team, but at least he's contributing towards this community goal. You know what I mean? You don't feel that as bad about it. Whereas with a mastery race, if you do want to complete it in PvP, then you're going to be up against everybody else that's trying to pick Iggy, and then people are going to be ejected out of that shit, canceling out of matches and stuff because they didn't get to pick Iggy themselves. So it leaves people with one recourse, which is PvE, but then you get people are like, well, that's kind of bullshit that all they did was sit in PvE, and it creates a lot more problems than it creates opportunities. It just, I don't really, they need to do away with master races for now, I think, and just let the community know up front, we're not going to do master races anymore.
Right.
I've always thought master races in any game are a bit unhealthy anyway, because
for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. It's unhealthy because it literally breeds or it encourages for somebody to basically no life a game in that situation, because like the only especially because you do it like this master race, it started on a Monday, right? Oh, I work Monday through Friday, right? Sometimes I work on the weekends. I'm on call or whatever, but I don't have the life to be able to partake in any of these master races in that situation. Or if I did, I'd have to literally, all right, I know it's happening on Monday. This is when it's going live. It's gonna happen this. All right, I'm gonna call in sick on Monday, or put in PTO just so I can sit there and no life the game until I get to this XP mark that I need to get to. So it's definitely not great encouragement, and I agree with you on that one, Goose. But speaking of just sitting in bot matches, that's another thing that this was said back when Crunch was for the master race, is like the one person who won it, they literally just no life bot matches. And but at least credit to that person, they at least partook in the bot matches. If you look at the evidence of the games of the person who won this one, like this person literally just went into bot matches and then went AFK. Went out, watched 15 minutes of an episode, and then came back and like, all right, let me cancel this and requeue back up, and then went back, finished their episode, and came back. And it's like, this person's not even actually playing your game. Like they're not really doing anything to promote your game in any good way. They're just literally they're exploiting a problem that you have. So how does that, why isn't that person what's what I'm looking for? Like, just, hey, you're not considered to be a part of this event because you didn't actually partake, in my opinion. Like, that's how I look at it. I'm like, if you go back and look at the person's, matches, there were matches they actually played, but there's a good chunk of those matches they literally did nothing to them. Like, they went in, just got XP just by sitting in bot matches.
And you can't really dog them out for that, though. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really dog somebody out for exploiting something like that. Like, nobody said that they couldnll do that, so you can't really. I don't know. I think it's more, but it kind of than it is on them.
Kind of was that. I'll have to look it up. So if you guys can fill here while I'm looking for it, but there was something said along those lines.
Oh, really? In that case, then they probably should have taken action and given it to
O'Doyle.
Given the icon to somebody else.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, as long as you have video games, you're going to have people that exploit different things. I mean, as long as you have life, you're going to have people that find exploits.
Everybody's always looking for the easy way to do it. I mean, that's not really that's not a fault of the game or anything, but yeah,
you can't get it. You can't escape it, man. You can't escape the unintentional puns.
Yeah. But the exploitation like that, like I said, like you were saying, I don't think that's really on them. They're just doing it's technically a valid way to get the XP. It's just not a very not a very what do you say, honorable way to get the XP, but
yeah, I mean, it's not honorable, but it works.
yeah, I'm just say that kind of comes down to the whole mindset of, you know, like sometimes a win is a win, even if it's ugly or, you know.
Yeah.
So
It's like a fucking fist fight. Like, if you want to win that shit, you don't fucking be all chivalrous and give them the first punch, you know? You kick him in the dick and then punch him in the throat and then fucking walk away, you know?
Yep. That's true. I mean,
it's a fight, not a boxing match, you know. But
that's true. Now are we considering the Iggy Master Race a fight, like a fist fight? Like that's my gold avatar or whatever.
Yeah, it's a fight to the finish. Who gets that gold avatar? No holds barred.
Yeah.
Sitting AFK in bot matches is perfectly allowed.
Here's where it says, if we find any players consistently dodging games, using bugs, exploits, or abusing systems to gain an advantage, we will remove them from the race at our discretion, and you will not be able to participate in future events. That's part of the Iggy Master Race, how to participate. That's in the, so if you go to the thing that's posted on 9/19/2022, that literally is the Master Race thing, and you go down, it says how to participate. It's literally in that big paragraph that's there. So that to me is showing an exploit. Like,
it comes down to if you think it's an exploit or not. But I mean,
right. And I mean, so technically, yes, everybody had the ability to do that. So this isn't really me bashing the person who did this. This is me talking to SMS and saying that, like, why would you know, if you got people who are actually putting in work, you know, actually, you know, showing your game off the way it's supposed to be showed off, why would you not benefit them instead of benefiting the person that's literally using, I don't know. I consider that's an exploit. Like, you're not really getting, like, the whole point is the XP. You're supposed to get experience. What experience are you actually getting by just sitting at base? To me, that's an exploit. Like, that's like you're gaining experience off of not doing anything. You're not really, like, if I went to work and did nothing, I'm not getting experience, but I'm still getting paid for it. No, that's not how that works.
Yeah, and there was talks of that too, kind of throughout the mastery race. Just in general, the idea of the mastery race not being it's not a tell of like how skilled you are with that hero, which kind of, that's like what in a sense a mastery race is kind of supposed to set that tone of, you're using this hero, you're gaining experience, you're really good with this hero, but that's not really the case. It's just how many games can you get into and get XP from. That's what it kind of boiled down to.
You literally need to change the name of Mastery Race and change it to whatever. Like, I don't, you know, change it to, you know, how often I can use this person race. You know, like, that's because it's not, literally in that situation, you are not mastering this character at all.
The race to, will my teammates dodge or not if they don't get Iggy?
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine being bot Murdock and all your Iggies just sitting in base the whole time? Like, that guy's got to be pissed.
He's probably pushing inhib at 6 minutes.
So I don't see how, I mean, it got to the point to where the community, there is people in the community who are actually putting together a petition to sign to, because they feel like O'Doyle, one of the community members who got mastery, who got mastery Iggy before the master race was even finished. And so he's technically the first one that got mastered Iggy. They're like trying to sign a petition saying that he should win the actual gold avatar and stuff like that, and he should have the one that has the gold name in the Hall of Fame of SMS master races. Like,
seems like an easy fix. Just give him the fucking gold avatar.
Right, but that's the thing is, like, you know, SMS is like not saying anything about it. They put out
off their dicks.
They put the announcement out saying, "Hey, here's whatever the person's name is." And it's over the next. I think I can't remember the person's name, to be honest with you. Yeah, Xeno Zyclop. again, this is nothing against this person. Like, I think this is more on SMS and how they handled it. I don't think they handled it correctly. I'm not out here signing petitions. I mean, I'm not that up in arms about it, but like, I don't feel like, I mean, this is, to me, like, if I saw a business operating to the point to where they're putting something out, but then they allow other people to kind of, I hate to use the word again, but to exploit it, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm not gonna partake in their next one because there's no point. Like, they're literally, you took the fun out of this. Like, this is not fun to actually do anymore. What's the point of doing it?
It definitely should be a point to where, or it should be an experience to learn from, for sure. Like, okay, we've done 2 of these now. We've seen what these are about. Like, let's take the good, let's take the bad, you know, let's see what we can come up with. That's like, what are the best parts of this event? What are the worst parts? We'll form a new, like we were talking about earlier, like the community event part of it was great, right? Like,
right.
Let's focus more on that. Like, let's focus on, you know, like other games will have community events and stuff where, like, you know, everybody will have this goal as a community, and then they'll have their own like personal goals in the game or whatever for experience or matches played, whatever it might be. You know, have something like that where you've got your personal goals and then you've got a community goal, and then, you know, everybody gets something. And then if you get your personal goals, everybody gets a cool little avatar or a skin or something like that, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, I mean, Madness, what's going on, buddy? So to give SMS credit, they did the first master race with the crunch one, right? Just the person won it just by doing bot matches, right? And there was uproar with the community saying that you shouldn't even get XP by doing bot matches, a bunch of stuff like that, right? So at least to their credit with this one, they made it right away that you were gonna get like half the credit or something like that than you did for actual PvP matches. And then even towards the end of it, they even dropped it even more because they saw what was going on, but it still wasn't enough. I don't know the exact numbers, but I believe it was something like before they made that adjustment, like the one person was like ahead by so much already. And then after making the adjustment, the second place person, O'Doyle, actually started gaining on them. And it, you know, got really close towards the end there. It probably could have actually, you know, overtook him, but, so that they at least are seeing that there's an issue and they're making changes. But like, I think that was like, once you see that, like if you saw it enough to where you had to, you had to make the adjustments to the numbers of how much XP you get from it. If you saw that, then that right there, and your point of saying, hey, if we find anybody exploiting or abusing systems to gain an advantage, you know, here we go, we're going to, you know, this person's no longer eligible. That's like, hey, this, you know, you're no longer eligible. They don't necessarily have to kick this person out from every master race from here on out, because they did say something along those lines. But like, you know, just, hey, you like, let you know, hey, you aren't eligible for this anymore because of this, but don't do it next. If we find you doing it again, you're no longer going to be a part of any more master races. Situation. Like, that's what could be done. And then O'Doyle, here you go, we're going to hand this off to the second place person that, you know, who got it in the second time, whatever. Here you go. That's the way I feel it should have been handled. And that's the way I see a lot of people talking about it. It should have been handled. But
I want to answer Menace's
yes.
Question real quick. No, I'm not losing weight. I grew my beard out a bit, so it makes the rest of my body look smaller.
Wait a minute. Shots fired?
Well, kind of, yeah. You look skinny as fuck with that big ass beard.
You look skinny.
The thing is, at the end of the day, though, it's kind of like arguing.
Go cut my beard. See, honey, my dick does look big.
But like, at the end of the day, it's kind of like arguing about or talking about like a controversy of a homecoming race at a local fucking high school that I don't give a shit about. Like, because like,
Right. No, 100%.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
and they could do better. They could do way better. This does affect the community that they have, but this is like the least of their goddamn worries right now. They got people jumping ship in Fault right now. It's fucking hurting them, and like,
yeah.
there's just less and less people are caring about Fault the closer we get to like OverPrime and Predecessor. That like the Iggy and Scorch Bastion race, it's indicative of a lot of the bigger problems that they have, but they got like, this is like small potatoes. Like,
Right.
they should resolve it. They should solve it in some way, but they got bigger things to worry about too at the same time.
So, that I don't know why it brought this up, but that actually reminds me. Just recently, what was it, 2 days ago? Overwatch 2 dropped, right? And Overwatch 2 dropped. I don't know how much you guys know about that or how much you've been paying attention to it, but as soon as they dropped, they got instantly DDoSed, right? And so there's been queuing issues for this game. I don't know if it's still happening. I haven't tried to queue it today yet, but the last 2 days trying to queue, you go to queue, when the first day it happened, it would tell you had 20,000 people in front of you waiting to queue, right? And then and then the number would drop, or you have to change servers. Like they have the America server, EU server, and Asia server, and you could change servers, and you could try to get a smaller number and try to get into queue. It took me a while. I finally got into queue, and I was able to get some games in. I think I got like 5 games in that night, but like then it would kick me from the server, and I had to try to reload. It reminded me of Fault's release. When Fault came out as early access and they had their issues. I mean, not that they got DDoS, but like, what was it, half the internet, like something, was it Google that got DDoS, or somebody got DDoSed around that time?
Cloudflare.
Yeah,
I think.
Cloudflare.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, see, like, so that happened around the same time. That would have right when Fault, went early access, and people thought it was, it was on them, that they had issues. They did have some issues going on with their early access release, which is fine. But you got a big AAA company like Overwatch that, or not Overwatch, that's not the company, but Blizzard, who is dealing with this, and they're having a hard time dealing with it. Now imagine a AAA company, an indie dev company having that issue and going into that. So it just shows you that like it's not like people, basically gave up on Fault just because of that early access and how it went, right? When that's not even on them. And what they go from there. So, what do you have you heard anything about that, Mangoose, the Overwatch 2 release?
Yeah, I tried to play it and I got stuck in the queue and I was like, fuck this. So I was like,
Stunt said they fixed it, or Menace said they fixed it last night. No, they didn't check on it today though. So
yeah, I did see there was going to be another update today at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so that's 9 p.m. This time. So
I mean, it's a huge difference though, right? Like, you can't really compare Overwatch release to the to Fault's release, because Fault's a very small fraction of the community, and people just didn't care enough to even look up to see what was going on. With Overwatch, people were like interested in why the fuck they can't get in, and they found out real quick that they're getting DDoSed. Okay, whatever. Then they have a little more patience with that. With Fault, people just didn't even bother to look to see what happened. Right. And then even further along, it's been 2 years since then, and there's still crazy problems with Fault. So it's not like they poisoned the well that early, and but they have continued to do so, and that's kind of their biggest problem right now. And it's kind of exemplified by this Iggy and Scorch race. They can't even do a fucking mastery race without some fucking crazy shit happening and a bunch of controversy and a bunch of people getting pissed off.
Right. So
they can't even release it on time. Not even with the hero.
It's a tough one for sure. And it sucks. Like, I literally don't want to be on this panel here and just talking negatively about Fault in that light.
To do.
It is very hard not to do. I mean, I know people who literally just uninstalled the game and don't even care anymore and are moving on. It's becoming this huge, OverPrime waiting room, and
right.
like, right. Yep. I just don't know, like the silence. Hopefully the silence stops, but like it's too quiet, especially with the stuff that's on the horizon. It's, and I don't know what's happening. Like it's you have two games that are similar to your liking that are going to be releasing here soon, and you guys take this time to just go, you know, crazy, like quiet,
completely,
you know, like,
dark.
Yeah, completely dark. It's like out of all the times to go dark, this is not the time to do it. If anything, this is the time to ramp up and going, you know, like just push as long as you can.
And
so
I've never, and I'm with you, like, you know, with the communication being like, you know, in the mod and the Discord and stuff, like, you know, you're kind of sitting there trying to put fires out and stuff, or at least help in some way, and it makes it kind of difficult at times, you know, when people are pretty upset and trying to figure out what's going on. Hey, you know, where's this, where's that, where's some info, anything. And so it gets kind of frustrating from that point of view too, because it's like you're trying to tell, you know, you're trying to comfort people and say, hey, you know, like me personally, since I've, you know, been active and stuff, you know, I played through the EA and everything, but I wasn't super active with the community or anything till more recently. But
right,
like the communication, even when there is no communication and stuff, which, you know, there's ups and downs, like there's spikes of communication, then we'll go some time without it. But I've never doubt that they're working on stuff, because every time, you know, there's always something new coming. There's always like content coming. It's just people want to know about it. They just want a little bit. They want something, like they want something to be excited about. Like that's kind of the struggle, you know?
Right. Well, I mean, so again, like this show is about Fault and what's going on there. So we do kind of reference other games to bring, you know, just to kind of talk more about this. Predecessor is one of those games, and Predecessor recently has been putting out content like, hey, here's this tweet, they'll put stuff out. Then they kind of took this break, and Mangoose knows all about this because he's got his For the Minions shows. And if you guys don't watch For the Minions, make sure you follow Mangoose on YouTube. He's not the Mangoose that like attacks snakes. The other Mangoose. Find a video about
both.
Oh, he's both. Okay, sorry, he's upgraded. So, but no, the For the Minions episodes are great, and they talk about all the parazombies. But like, so you know about this, about the lull in information from any of these parazombies at the moment, but just recently, and I mean, it wasn't anything big. All it was a tweet saying that they're still on track to hit their early access, but everybody blew up on it. The Predecessor community just like, oh my god, they fell in love. Sweet, we're still on. That's all you had to do.
Why? I don't know why though, because here's the analogy I made. That tweet was just like Richter's first execution of Electrocute. It's there. Like there's nothing to that tweet. But yeah, people went fucking nuts over it just because it is some communication from them. But I don't know, man. But
that's my point, and that was what I think that's what Killswitch was saying. Just that a little morsel, right? And actually, just before that tweet happened in Pred's Discord, somebody said, "I just want a crumb of information. Just give us a crumb of information." And I'm like, this guy wants crummy information. I made that joke real quick in Discord, you know, because that's me. Got my dad joke in. We're good. And then they dropped that tweet. And I'm like, well, he got exactly the crumb he wanted, because it's not any information, really. I mean, it is and it isn't. Like, it literally lets you know, because there's people who are questioning, hey, are they actually, we're getting close to the end of 2022. Are they actually going to make it? And you know, they made the announcement, hey, we're still on track. So we're still going to make 2022. My point with all of the talk about this, I know this is Fault Discord, is a Discord, it's a Fault partner panel, is just those little bits of information, just something. You know, I don't care what it is. Like, if we're gonna do a Winter Veil event, or you plan on doing a Winter Veil event, just give us something. You know, hey, we're on track to do a Winter Veil event. Holy shit, right there. That's actually information, because whoa, wait a minute. we're actually gonna have there's a chance we have a Wintervale event this year. Awesome, that bringing that back. Okay, just give us something, give us that little crumb, and the community is gonna eat it up, and then just keep working with it.
Not at the point where the community's already like getting their pitchforks, do it before that. Like,
yes,
I kind of compare that to like, if the wife asks you to do something and, or whatever, and you don't do it, like you got to do it on your own. You can't have to be asked like 6 times or then it's not as special, like kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Like just randomly drop something and not when you see Gen Chat going crazy with their pitchforks.
Yep.
Yeah, they have so much to draw from, too. They're the only one that's playable right now. That should be huge. That should be huge for them. They have so much content that they can draw from to create things and upload it on social media, but they just don't do it. Meanwhile, you got guys like Killswitch out here making like great videos out there for Fault, and they could promote his videos. Like their post could be a promotion of Killswitch's videos. Like they've got so much to pull from, but they don't. It's like, come on, man. Like the other games, they're dropping more info with less fucking content. They don't have any content. Their games aren't out. Their games are not out.
Yeah.
Fault is out. It's playable. Everybody can play it. Like, come on, man. Draw from that. It's so easy.
I do want to point out here a comment from Stunt. He said it's not just the communication though, it's the promise. Fault devs will say, and this is quoting, Fault will start marketing after the movie. Then Fault will start marketing after Iggy. He's got a point. I mean, it goes
farther than that. It goes farther than that. It goes all the way back to, I think it was patch 14. When they put the patch 14 announce out, they said after this patch, we can actually start pushing for marketing. And that's when they first start the whole like, hey, because we're on the partner panel, we go over the patch notes, we talk about it, we go into it, and we saw that like, we got excited. They're actually talking about marketing now. The fact that they put it out to the public, they're actually talking about doing marketing, and here we are. We're now patch 18.2 or whatever we're at. Like, still nothing.
I wonder if they're putting it on a pedestal. If they're like, the marketing has to be this and it has to be this and perfect and this and this. It's like, no, man, it doesn't have to be perfect. Like, bro, like just some fucking tweets and some fucking Facebook posts and some shit like that. Just some good plays that you fucking clip from some streamers and some shit like that, man. That's all it's got to be.
There is a possibility that like there's some type of strategy involved with the other games being more active now, and the other parazombies being more active and stuff. There could be some strategy involved with that. I mean, but still, like that's like putting a lot on one strategy when you could be doing some stuff here, some stuff there. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. Red Clown says now they won't release marketing because other parazombies will be coming out. I've actually brought that up. I've been in DMs with people and I brought that up. Is that a thing? Are they gonna hold off and wait to see how far they can go? All right, let's see if we can actually make it once Predecessor releases, and then all right, we actually stand a fighting chance. Let's start marketing. And then the Predecessor releases like, okay, guys, we can't fight this guy. We're done. Let's pack up shop. Is that what they're doing? Like, what's going on? I feel like literally the quietness of this and the timing of this is just hurting.
Yeah. Well, they did kind of put in like a type of like mission statement. I can't remember when it was or where it was, but they did say something about like obviously they want to succeed, and the idea is that they're able to succeed even alongside the other parazombies, where sure, Predecessor goes into EA or Predecessor releases and people flock to that, but they want to give people a reason to come back. Like they want to be able to sustain through that. They have said that before, which I mean, that's a good idea, but it's kind of hard to do sometimes, especially in the situation now where Pred's getting all this hype, like just from a tweet, like we're on track, like everybody's going crazy. So
yeah,
I don't know, man. It's crazy stuff. It only costs them time to put out some fucking little short videos and shit. Like I don't understand what the holdup is, but whatever. Like maybe they are just waiting, but I think that's a big mistake on their part. There are people out there that prefer Fault. There are people that have played the Prime beta, that played the Predecessor beta. They prefer Fault. They prefer Fault because it's the slower, more traditional MOBA style gameplay, and they need to fucking pick that up and run with it. Feed into that. Let people know what they are and what they can expect from Fault, and then maybe they will get more people coming to play Fault.
I agree with you, and you actually had that on the For the Minions. You did a poll, and you asked people what game they were waiting for and why, or what game they thought was the best or whatever, and why, whatever. And you talked about it. I read all of them, just by reading the poll anyway in the comments of the poll. But I also watched For the Minions, and you pulled out Real Easy's a reason of picking it, and he picked Fault, and he's always been pretty much a Fault White Knight, you know, but he also is active in the other communities as well. But he picked Fault because Fault to him is the more strategic game, more competitive. The other games just feel more like casual, just the easygoing, the Paragon 4 version 42, you know, like, hey, make it easy for everybody to play the game. And so, yeah, there are people who do prefer this game in comparison. Black Tim's is one of them. I know Black Tim's is right now, if he was going to play any of these games, he would prefer Fault. But there's just things that need to be taken care of and done so we can get a bigger player base. The player base to me, and this is what we've said it, I don't know how many episodes we've said this, but the player base is what is hurting them, and the lack of player base is what's hurting them.
Well, I mean, again, they've got a huge base to pull from. They just need to pull from it and just put something out.
Well, and then two, you add in with going free to play, getting the movie, you know, a little bit of push there. But the big free to play push, you know, we saw a pretty big spike in player base. But where'd it go? I mean, that's something to look at too, because, you know, to have a successful game, you got to have a player base, and then to keep new players, that's really why I started doing my videos, is because I noticed we can't keep new players. So I'm like, we got to do something, you know, as a community or whatever, devs need to throw something in, whatever it is, to help the new player experience.
Yeah. Real quick, some chat. I think it's potato, I think is how I say that. But it looks like potato. Potato, is Fault's map better? I think it's opinion based, to be honest with you. I don't think there's a better map per se. In my opinion, when it came to map, I preferred Pred's map. Just because it gave all of the different levels and stuff like that. It kind of worked more with the verticality of the game, that what I believe a para-zombie should work with. And so I preferred Predecessors, but then my number 2 would be Faults, and then OverPrime would be the third one in that situation. What are your guys' thoughts on the maps of the games? And I'm saying OverPrime is there with their last closed beta test. I know that's not their map now, but I haven't been able to experience their map now besides just some of the videos they've had. So like until I actually get to play that one, I can't really rank that in that situation.
I preferred OverPrime's map because I'm a Legacy nut. And it was just Legacy with.
See, I never played Legacy. I played just before version 42. I played the card system before it was the 3 cards. You know, I played that item system they had, but so I never actually got to play Legacy. So
after that, I would say OverPrime, Fault, Predecessor. Predecessor's jungle I felt was a little weird to navigate at times, so that was about the only. I think
visually the Pred map looked good. I do think I agree. Indeed. I think the jungle was a little wonky, but I think it looked really good. I didn't get to actually play the OverPrime, but I heard about the portals. I was like, Teach their own. Like, you want a faster paced game, sure, I get it. But me, I'm just thinking about being the scared ADC and just getting jumped on, like crazy. But
see, now I thought the reason I put OverPrimes, it's not just the portals, but like the jungle itself to navigate. Like literally, I felt like I was like, where am I going? Like I'm like, what's going on? There were some parts of Pred's jungle to where you thought like, hey, if I turn here, I'm going down an alleyway. And next thing, well, there's a wall there. Okay, let me. So there was those spots, but I'm not a jungler, so like I'm not too worried about that situation. But I do understand that. But I just the looks and the visuals on it, like how smooth the map was, but like again, just the different terrains. Like you have that ramp up in your in the solo lane and dual lane, and then you have a drop down to go down to get your buff. I like that stuff. I like that elevation. So that's why I put it over Fault. Sock Up says he prefers Fault's map because it was bigger. So apparently to Sock Cap size matters.
I can tell you that from experience. That's why it doesn't come up here. I think Glavinus Prime, MOBAs like Paragon suffer with PC only population. I think that's also fairly true, because if you have a PC and you want to play a MOBA, then you're probably going to be playing Dota or fucking League of Legends, like, right? So, but you really can't play those games on console, which is why Smite fills the niche that it does, and why Paragon was a bit of a competitor to Smite, even if they didn't win in the end. So I think console should be like a major focus for them, but like Sockap said, it's going to be hard, especially hard for Strange Matter as opposed to Ameda Studios and Soul Leave, because they just don't have the monetary backing that those other ones have. But they do have the experience, like they have a live game out for this long. If they've been working on console in the background and they could suddenly drop it on console, that would be huge for them.
Yeah,
I know a lot of my friends and stuff that I used to play Paragon with are like, yo, when is this coming to console? Like,
so was every first comment on Twitter. So I can only imagine, because I mean, it's not just Fault, it's all of these. They make a tweet, and the next person that comments is when's console when, right? It's always the first comment, and it's like, oh my gosh, like I get you want to know, but like, do you think just because they tweeted last week that all of a sudden that answer is going to change? They're going to be able to answer that? No, that's not happening. But Fault did say in that last dev stream they had, it feels like it was forever ago now, that last dev stream that they do have they're working with a third party to help port them to console. So that kind of hints towards them working on, console, at least in the background, that we don't know about. Obviously we have no clue how close they are because they haven't said anything, but like, and right now we're just strictly speculating, but that's all we can do with the lack of information we have. So, but I mean, it's there's something going on. So that could be something that could definitely happen. We just don't know when. I think, all right, let me ask you this question. I'll give my answer after you guys answer. What do you guys think that is the biggest thing they need to do right now to be able to get this game full release? What are they missing for full release?
I honestly don't know why they're not just full release right now. Like, the way games are right now, like, what is full release? Like, they've got a fully functional fucking game that they constantly patch. Why is it not considered full release right now? I have no fucking idea what would be considered full release if this is not full release. You know what I mean?
I get it. I get what you're saying, but I also understand. I don't know. I'm that person that for any of these indie dev companies, that like early access to me is that time for you to get things on, to understand the patches, to get patches pushed. Like, this is a team. Before I go too far to this, let me ask you, killswitch. Let's have you answer, and then I'll jump into my reasoning.
So, I mean, I feel like the straight answer, like the just straight shooter answer here, is player base and a way to keep the player base, obviously. But delving more into that, I would say more communication with your player base, more, bits and pieces of info, maybe some smaller like additions to the game, just stuff to keep people interested, because like I said, with the early access or the free to play push, we got quite a bit of play. I mean, I remember at one point, and I know this isn't crazy, but for Fault, the player base, at one time we had upwards of 600-700 players. I'm like, that's pretty big for Fault. But now it's back to that peak hours, 200-300 or so, 350. Like,
so I agree with you. Player base is obviously a big issue, but what is the reason? And Mangus, I'll let you answer this question real quick. What is the reason a lot of people pick Predecessor over Fault?
It's mystery. No, I think I don't know. I think people just have put their faith in Omega Studios early on, and then that snowballed into the beta test, alpha test, whatever. And those were so successful and people really enjoyed them. And it was really the optimization. Predecessor just had way better optimization than Fault ever has.
That
ever has
had. It. Optimization. And Sockcap said it in chat. It's optimization and polish. All right. So if you make Fault as optimized and as polished as Pred was in the last stress test, people would be coming and playing this game because of how great it feels and how smooth it is, right? Right now, it's a great game, right? The gameplay loop is there. It's what we want it to be. We're good. There are some heroes that need to get a balance, but that's going to be something you're going to deal with right now. You go play League of Legends, there's going to be a hero that's overpowered and needs to be balanced, right? And then you're going to get a balance, and that person's going to adjust it, and there's going to be another hero that takes that spot. It happens with all MOBAs, right? So you have it's literally give us that polish and that optimization. Now the issue that Fault has is their dev team is so small that whenever they make a patch, and we've talked about this before, Mangoose, on these partner panels, is whenever they make a patch, here we go, look, we have great optimization, everything's running smooth, and the next patch, the next day is like, what the fuck happened to all my frames? Yeah. Like, what is going on? And they take that step back. But if you could get that polished game, you get people to come back. And then that, to me, is going to fix the issues that Killswitch is talking about. And that's going to fix the issues that Mangoose was talking about. Well, you're going to be doing better. You got to get that polish, that optimization. That's what we had this argument before. And I was talking, and you guys brought up fucking Minecraft and Roblox and how people will play those games or whatever. The people that are here to play these games, the League of Legends players that we're going to want to pull from, they're going to want that, oh my gosh, look at this game. Like, I remember playing Warcraft, the actual Warcraft 1, right? And those cutscenes, the actual videos you're playing, I'm like, oh my God, could you imagine if that's the game we were actually playing? Not this pixelated piece of shit. Like, the actual cutscenes were amazing, that, and now here we are playing a game that's pretty much one of those cutscenes, but you got to get that polish to it. Bring that out, the game would be so much better. I don't know if you have to get another map guy out here to help push, whatever you got to do to help get this polish to this game to be what it is. I think that's the biggest thing.
Upon further consideration, I think full release is when you have the full suite of game modes that are planned for the game. And that would, I guess, include ranked or Fault, which they are nowhere near being able to do.
Well, right. And then in the last dev blog stream thing that they had too, they said working on a new map and game mode. I believe it was the ARAM mode. Mm-hmm. So, that would be something too, like having that once, that would be like full release, esque, where that's available, your regular gameplay is available, your casual, your ranked, kind of adding on to that.
Right. Before it gets too far away from me, Gladius NF, people got to realize Pred has had a lot of time to learn from Fault's mistakes as well. And I 100% agree with you. that they do have those abilities, but you can, just because you're watching somebody make mistakes doesn't mean that you know what they're doing to make those mistakes. You know, you're not hands-on themselves. You can literally just, like, I can sit here, I could watch anybody stream a game and I can see that they made a mistake, but that doesn't mean that I know what button they pushed to make that mistake, right? So I'm going to go into the game, I'm playing the game, I press that same button. Damn it, that's what he did. Okay, don't do that again type thing. So there's still going to be that with that as well.
I think it's more important to look at the different approaches that Ameda Studios took and Strange Matters took to the fixing of those problems. Ameda Studios, they released their very first alpha test, which was complete dog shit. Then they went very quiet for months and months and months, worked on it like a motherfucker until people forgot about Pred. And when they released it, everything was fixed, everything was fine and dandy, and people absolutely loved it. Whereas Fault, since they released early access like very early on, we've seen them have to fix those problems as we go, which seems on the surface like it'd be a great thing. You get to see this company fix their problems as you go, but it may seem like a good thing, but we've seen from actual experience that the community getting to witness all these problems happen and then witness them being solved isn't such a great thing. It's just people just see the problems and they don't forget about them.
Right.
They want to see more fix. Like, they don't just want a problem fix, they want more than that.
Yeah.
They want to see like these huge patches and changes every time, and it's with a smaller team, it's kind of unrealistic.
A Guitar Legend, how about more heroes and taking less time to patch things? Literally goes off with what you're saying, and that's kind of like, that's the difference I see as well, is like these people, you know, there's not saying the people in chat right now, but there are people who are, you know, oh, I'm a Pred fanboy, this is the game I think is best. But if you look at it, Pred's got less heroes than Fault does, right? And they're not even out actively playing right now, right? But they're still like, but then you have the people, well, but why isn't Fault putting out more heroes? It's like, well, wait a minute, like, neither is Pred. I mean, Pred, you know, they have announced some more heroes, but like, it's there. Like, the game, there's times to do this. Now, would you guys rather them push out multiple heroes with a bunch of issues and bunch of bugs that come with them, and now we're dealing with even a bigger bug fest, and you know, and more OP heroes that just like, oh my gosh, like, what do we like? All right, well, we just know that these next 3 heroes that just got released real quick are gonna be the ones that we're gonna be playing with because they're just OP as fuck.
I don't know, man. We have to struggle through as a community those bugs with the newly released hero. Whereas with Predecessor, they can release a hero, tell us that they released the hero, work out all the bugs before we ever get it into our hands, and then we only experience a handful of bugs. You know what I mean? So it's just it might be different once Predecessor and OverPrime are actually released, but for now, people just see, you remember bad shit more than you remember good shit. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
And people remember the bad of Fault more than they remember the good of Fault. And Predecessor hasn't, and OverPrime hasn't shown us as much of the bad shit of game development as Fault has.
Yeah. That's the catch-22 of going you know, early access so quick. You know, because, you know, if looking at the time frame, Pred was been in production longer than Fault has. So the fact that Fault was in production less time and so-called caught up to Pred enough to go early access and give you a playable game, is hurting them in the situation that now we have to watch them, you know, go through these growth, you know, situations and see the struggles that they're dealing with, while meanwhile we're not watching Pred struggles. All we see is Pred's, you know, positives and how well it is and how great they're doing, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, this game's amazing and it's so much better than Fault. And it's like, you can't say that because that's not even out yet. Like, and me and Magu said it multiple times. You got to play it for a weekend. You know, play that for a month straight and tell me that it's an amazing game. Tell me there's no issues. Tell me there's no bugs. Tell me tell me that the gameplay loop is actually as fun as you think it is. You know, put an actual matchmaking system on there to where you're not just playing against noobs all the time, and see how that works. You know, and tell me that the game is great. Things that have to happen for Pred to actually get processed there, to be compared to Fault.
Yeah, they're going to have fall off. There's going to be player fall off in both Predecessor and OverPrime, 100%. But I don't think it's going to be as bad as with Fault, for real. Because, like I've said, Fault caught up with Predecessor, but then they released, and we got to see all of Fault's problems along with their successes. Whereas with Predecessor, we've only seen the successes. Mm-hmm. And like I said, I would think, like, you know, looking back years ago, I probably would have said, oh, it would be awesome to see a game develop as it goes. But again, like the proof is in the pudding. It's obviously that was not the best strategy for them.
Well, here's my take on that, because I agree with you. Let's go years back and man, this would be awesome, and I 100% agree with you. I think it is awesome. The issue is you have two other games that are recreating the same situation. So now everybody else can be like, well, you know what? This isn't as fun as I thought it was because I have the back burner, right? Like right now, I only have college football. There's only EA Sports college football that's coming out, right? There is no other competitor. I would love to right now to be able just to partake in all of the issues that you have making the game right now. Let me just be a part of it. I don't have another game like, okay, well, I'll just wait for the other college football game to come out because that one looks better. I don't have that. Like, because of these pair of zombies are competing against each other, people have a fallback plan. We don't, like, if Predecessor and Predecessor and OverPrime weren't there, Fault would be the only plan, and everybody would be sticking through it and fighting through it and pushing. Not everybody, sorry. There would be people that would just like, you know what, I'm done with this. But I think the player base would definitely be a lot bigger right now, because if that was the only game, this is our only chance to play Paragon, then this is what I'm doing. I'm going to do what I can to play Paragon. But because there's other chances for people to play Paragon, they're dropping ship and they're going somewhere else.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
So
predecessor tests and stuff also are like a new, like, first impression basically every time, because you have so much time in between. It's like it's fresh again. It's like, oh yeah, this is what we're waiting for. You get to play it for a couple days, and then
of course there's the money. I can't not talk about the money. Like, yeah, OverPrime and Predecessor both. I've always said, I'm not using money as an excuse. If they have the money and they're using it well, then that's good for them. And it doesn't matter in the player's eyes which one costs more to produce, as long as they enjoy the game. And Omega Studios has way more money. Soul Leave has way more money than Fault ever will, and it would be nice to see a fully community funded game succeed. However, the reality is that it limits their options for production of the game.
Yeah, I think they're at the point that they need to and we talked about this.
Hey, somebody just said it in chat too.
What?
The money thing.
I think it's time that they need to look into getting some type of an investor. However you want to make that work or whatever. I mean, I get you wanted to be that community-led or community-funded team or whatever game, but like, you need the money to help, even if it's just to help hire more devs and get a bigger team. Even if that's it, even if that's the reason you got investors, just to get more, to bring on more devs, that's something that needs to happen, because the rate at which things are coming out, even if this is the game that, let's say out of these three games, this is the one that actually makes it, the rate of content that comes out of this game right now is not enough. to make it to, because the whole point of this isn't to be the one of the parazombie that won the race, right? That's not the whole point of that, right? The whole point of this is to be a game that succeeds and maybe even overtakes Smite, right? This is the 3D MOBA that everybody goes and plays, right? That's the goal, all right? And if that's the goal, the rate of content that gets released at this point is not enough, and they need more. And the way to get more is to get more devs, to get more hands. You know, this is that situation that more cooks in the kitchen is actually a good thing. Because right now you have one cook that's trying to make 8 different meals, and they can't focus on the one meal that they really need to focus on.
Sock says, money ain't the end all be all because OverPrime was shit. I preferred OverPrime over all of them. like that's
Sock is an OverPrime hater. He's been an OverPrime hater for a while. Yeah,
people that like OverPrime, and a lot of it was due to that money. Their skins were fucking fantastic. They got a lot of shit going for them, but you know, to each their own.
See, now I've never been a skin guy, only because I've never been a guy that's just gonna put money into a game, right? Go Overwatch, go the Overwatch 2, and you look at their battle pass that they have. I have no interest in actually putting money and buying that battle pass. That last skin that you get with that battle pass is pretty decent, and it's actually a customizable skin. Which, speaking of that, Fault customizable skins, the idea of that was pretty badass. That Genchi skin, like you can actually change different colors on it. You could literally modify the weapon that he's using. There's a bunch of things that went with that skin. So customizable skins would definitely be something great for Fault. But I'm not a guy that it's like, oh my god, I want to play this just because this skin is amazing. I'm that guy that it's like, if I end up getting that skin through however the process is of getting that skin for free, great, I'll use it when I go into a game. But I literally could sit here and play any game and use a default skin, and that's the game. As long as the game is fun to play, I'll rock it. I have no interest in going here and buying skins.
Oh well.
So, but I do give you, you're 100% correct. OverPrime skins, top notch, great fucking skins. But I'm not gonna all right, when OverPrime does come out and it's playable, I'm not putting money into the game to get the skins.
Yeah, I think the main the follow through here is that SMS needs to get investors. Like it was fun for a while to have this whole community funding thing, and it was a fun dream to have, but we've seen that it's not going to fucking work for them. So they need to, and I think they may have been doing that at fucking whatever the fuck it was.
I don't think it's a failure though.
Gamescom, yeah, there you go.
And that's 100% possible. That's definitely a good possibility. But I don't think it is a failure of this community funded situation. They went community funded. We as a community created this game and this game loop that they currently have. And in my opinion, and I believe it's most of our opinions here, they have the best game loop out of the Parazombies. Like, to play a game and actually go through and have, and even a comeback mechanic, you know, like you actually have the ability to come back and win a game. Like, they have the best game loop out of all of them. Now, is it, you know, is it great to play the same people every time you queue up? No, it's not. Like, the player base is the issue, but the game itself, we help mold this game into what it is. Like, we can take pride in that. And getting investors to help invest so you can make more skins, you can get the map to be more optimized, you know, to do everything else that you need to do to help just make the game look and feel better, is nothing wrong with that. Like, we as a community molded the game and how the game plays as is, with our inputs and feedback, our inputs in the partner panel, everything else. So there's no, you can't, like, we can still take pride in that.
Guitar Legend cracked me up with his fucking comment. None of us are game devs. Could be right. That's why it's pretty shit. None of us are game devs. Yeah, the community throwing their own 2 cents in isn't always a great thing.
True.
It's funny. I've kind of said that from the beginning too, though. It's like they need to listen to the community, but they also need to stay true to their own vision, because you don't want to create a mediocre game that pleases everybody. You want to create a game that fucking some people will fucking love and some people will hate. That's when you're going to have a good game on your hands. Because the people that hate it, they just won't play it. The people that love it will fucking love it forever. So
yeah. So Stunt says, that's the issue. As if an investor is going to put money into a MOBA, will more likely research and check out the other pair of zombies too. It's hard to find investors with Pred and OverPrime around the corner. Now, I disagree with you, Stunt, because there's people out there who just have fucking money and they just want to, here you go. There's a chance that I could actually make money off of this. Sure, I got money to throw at you, and they'll throw money at you. Like, people will do that. Like, I don't have that money. I don't have the ability to do that. But there are people that be like, you know what? You want how much money? Oh, I got that. Here you go. Oh, I can make how much money off of it? Oh, fuck yeah. Here you go. Here's more. So it's a thing. It's definitely there. There is that possibility, for it to still be a good thing. But who knows? I think we've beat this dead horse enough, though. So let's move on to a brighter conversation, and let's give Killswitch the floor here and let him talk about the amazing work that he has done and the idea behind it. Because I want you to go all the way back to before you even started making these videos and give us your, like, where you were at. And like, you know what, I think we should do this. Like, give us that whole build up. Let us know everything about that. So
first of all, I want to say I'm not one to really brag about myself, so this might sound really awkward, but first off, thank you everyone for like the appreciation and everything. The views and everything. I really do appreciate it. But so I started doing these videos basically almost out of a need, or I felt the need for them. But before that, I was just playing the game, recording videos of gameplay, putting them up on YouTube, figure put the game out there, maybe somebody will come across it and say, hey, that looks pretty good, I might try that, something like that. But kind of as I get to play more, and as we started moving more towards this like push for like the free to play and stuff, that's when I started doing these YouTube videos. It actually really kind of stemmed from an interaction I had in the Discord server with somebody who basically just was asking like, hey, how do I play this hero? What am I supposed to do? Like, where can I find like information to like, what items should I build? All that stuff. And so I kind of just got to thinking like, we really don't have a good resource for that. And so that's when I started doing it. I think my first one was a Kwong video, and it received pretty good like feedback and everything. I got quite a few people that were like, hey, this is actually really helpful, I appreciate this, and so I kept it going, and here we are. I mean, 15, 16 episodes in, I think. So pretty much getting through the whole roster now.
Yeah. So first of all, the one thing that I do like, not just the videos that you post, is the fact that you will even post in Discord letting people know that, hey, I can't get one out this week, because you were doing these weekly, right? And I think you still are trying to do them weekly if possible, but like you let them know, hey guy, and I think it was Tuesdays you post them, right? You post them in the concept vault on Tuesdays, and you go from there, and you post and say, hey guys, sorry, I'm not gonna be able to get one this week. Like, just letting people know, like, I'm still working, but it's not, whatever happens. So, because we all still have, our IRL stuff going on that we aren't able to do things and stuff like that. So just that alone just tells me how dedicated you are to this, and I definitely appreciate that. But like, so for anybody who hasn't watched these videos, what are the videos and how do they, like, what is the baseline of a video?
So the idea behind the video is they're pretty lengthy. The idea was to put something out there that was kind of a one-stop shop for like, something specific for a hero, whatever you maybe wanted to know about that hero or how to play it, like the first part of the video, I start by just doing like a overview of the kit, right? I kind of briefly describe the abilities and a little bit in depth, because like you can read an ability, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily translate to like in the game, you know? So I'll describe them a little more in depth, give some like give like a baseline to it as far as like what to expect when using it in the game, and I'll put a brief little clip of the ability being used in there as well to kind of see, to get a visual of it. And then after that, I go into like the build. I'll start with the aspects. I'll do, you know, what are preferred aspects, and then I kind of go into a hypothetical build and throw some situations out there of what items to build when, what team comp you're facing, that type of thing. So just really mostly general knowledge, but things that can really help you get like into the game. Even if you're relatively new, it might help you, you know, just get started or perform a little bit better or whatever it may be.
Okay. Now,
Does it change the way that you look at the game as you play? Like when you see somebody making mistakes, do you think that is a common mistake that I see people make? I should make a video to help people correct that mistake. Is that something?
I do. There's, and I also try and like, I'm not, me personally, you know, I'm not the best fault gamer. I'm not the best jungler. I'm not the best this and that. So a lot of times too, I'll ask people, I'll say like, is there something you're struggling with? Or do you have like feedback or something for this situation or this hero or this item? Like, what do you build? So that I'm not just coming from a, you know, uneducated standpoint. Like people are like, who the hell is this guy? Like, why is he telling me how to build this character? Like,
right.
So, I mean, it definitely changes. Like you start to see things and you're able to like speak to them more, especially like situationally too. That's why I put a little disclaimer on my videos usually that like all of it's subjective, all of it's situational, because the team comp that you're facing could be something completely ridiculous, and this goes all out the window. Like,
right.
You know.
I think that's why a lot of people haven't really attacked this in so much of a hard standpoint. So definitely that's another big applause to you for doing that, even that situation. But like that's part of the reason. Two of those reasons are part of the reasons I haven't really jumped into this is because, one, I'm a bedrock tier gamer, so like why is somebody gonna watch my video and say, hey, this is what I'm gonna learn from in that situation? And then two, like there's just so many things that like I like to put in, like to explain to somebody that your team comp and their team comp really depends on the situation of how you're going to build this. You know, if you have other tanks on your team, then you can build this way, or you know, there's so many different aspects, so many different variables that go into a game that can change so many things around that it's like, it's almost like you look at it, it's like, it's just to me, I looked at it as a daunting task for me to sit there and go through and try to explain something for somebody. So like you found a way to do it, and it's definitely great information to put out there. Now with your videos, do you have them broken up? Because I know like with Mangoose's videos, like for the minions, he'll have the timestamps. Hey, if you want if you want the fault version, hit, you know, it starts at this time, you know, whatever. Do you have your builds like, hey, you want to build for steel, the builds are at this timestamp? Or if you want the hero kit's at this timestamp. Do you have that stuff down or no?
So I do not have that stuff down yet, and that was something that I was going to work on doing next, is going back through and putting timestamps on all that stuff.
Okay.
I just recently put them all into a collective like playlist, basically, to where it's all just in that one spot. So working towards it, but
nice. I did drop your link in chat below for anybody who is not following him or subscribed to him. Click that link, subscribe to him, and watch those videos. If you're literally trying to, if there's a certain hero, like to me, Kwong is one of them. Kwong is one of my heroes that I just cannot play for whatever reason. I will get owned by any Kwong, but I cannot own anybody with Kwong. So as somebody like watching those and just kind of getting an understanding. I remember back to, I don't know if you remember this or Espada, before Espada was a part of the dev team or even part of the mod team, he dropped a video on Gideon and how Gideon was played, and watching that video, I finally understood how Gideon's passive actually worked. Until that video, I was so confused on what Gideon's passive did and what was going on and how to utilize it. I was lost. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And watching that video was like, oh. So it's definitely, the videos are definitely great. So keep up the great work.
Speaking of Quang,
Yeah.
and I'm going to give you a little bit of an idea here while we're at it, Killswitch, but I want to know, what do you think is the single most important thing to master for a new player on Quang?
On Quang specifically.
Yes.
I mean, I still lean towards like lane management, wave management, things like that. I think regardless of the hero you play, I think that's ultimately going to decide how well you're able to do. And that's going to let you perform better over time. If you can get that down early enough, everything else can fall into place easier, I think. And map knowledge, you know, like the basics, but more so like your role, like the role you're playing in, you know, managing your wave, understanding like minion movement, spawns, that type of stuff.
Okay, but with Quang specifically, what would you say is the thing you need to master in order to help you manage those waves?
I just want to answer real quick because, again, I'm not a Quang player and I'm horrible at it. And I think the reason I'm horrible at it is because I always forget, even though somebody will remind me in chat, the kit, how to use his kit. Like there's a certain way, like the combo, like, hey, use this, this, and this, and you'll maximize everything out of it. And that's something that's to me, like, I just cannot understand it. Like,
so with Quang, the way I play him, and you can play him, like I said, subjective. Like there's a couple of ways you can build him and play him, but the way I play him and the way I have the most success with him is I never throw that sword ever. The sword's basically always in my hand unless I'm trying to secure a kill or something like that. And then Street Soldier in the chat said press E first. The E, his what is it? The Wrath of the Heavens, the line, the cone in front of him, the Zang.
Okay. Yep.
That does essentially your most damage, but it also shreds armor. So it's always a good idea to start with that one if you're going for damage. And then, you know, a lot of the times you think like, oh, I'm going to start with the shield, the right mouse button to protect myself, you know, to give myself some extra health to start this fight. Well, sometimes that works. Sometimes it's better to, you know, go in with the E. But the one important thing that you have to remember with Quang is even as good as he is, he's not a burst mage. He's not a high damage dealing. Like he's not like outputting damage crazy at like a single time. So there's going to be times where you're not going to be able to secure the kill. You just kind of have to live with that. If you can bully your opponent out of lane, you've done your job. If you've got them low enough health that they have to back under tower, they're starving of farm, they have to back or whatever it is, you've done your job.
What I was kind of getting at, if you can distill that down into like one thing that a new player can do really well that will help them out playing Quang specifically, if you could take that and put it in like to a YouTube short and a TikTok, that would be fucking amazing. I think it would be amazing for your channel and it would be amazing for the community.
Right. And to
That's
tie into that,
you.
and I 100% agree with that, Mangoose. And to tie into that, if you can make your YouTube video, right? And in that YouTube video, know that, hey, there's this section. This is going to be my short section. And then you could pull from that video. All right, grab that section, make that the short and the TikTok. And then you could reference your full video. Hey, watch the full video and then at my YouTube. And then so you can see the quick, hey, this is like your quick reference. If you want just something quick, you want to learn Quang, this is what you want to do to learn Quang. Bam. And then if you want to learn, you really go in depth with Quang, watch my full video on my YouTube, and then at this, and then leave that link in the description or something like that. That would be even better because TikTok and shorts right now are just hitting hard.
Put it in the description, but also put it in a pinned comment because nobody reads descriptions. They all read the comments.
Yep, exactly.
Another fucking pro tip for you right there.
Yeah, shorts are definitely huge. not in the wintertime. You want to wear pants, but shorts are definitely huge.
Sure.
Megan's is just like
That was the daddiest of dad jokes I've ever fucking made.
And I love
you know what? What's even best though is in the setup that we have, you're right below me, and when you looked up, you're looking at me. And when you're doing it, that look up.
I tell you what, with this setup, I drank a beer, saw myself drink the beer, but then saw the reflection of me drinking the beer in your fucking computer behind you, and then saw myself drink the beer in Twitch, and it almost fucking ruined my concept of time.
Because they're not all synced up either.
Nice.
One of them's like slightly before.
Yes, exactly. Oh.
So Craig Trash Can says that's because there's like 3 extra clicks on the phone to find the description, and that's true. That's true. So yeah, that pinned comment is definitely huge. The quicker you can have somebody find something is the best for you, right? So if you can put it in, if you could be, especially if it's like the first couple words in the description of when you're watching TikTok, right? You can kind of read it, and if you have to hit more, a lot of people won't hit more. So if you can literally get that brief description or whatever, then that hey, check this out, or make it or have it be something that's like, you know what, now I want to read that. What are they saying that I want to finish this, to make them hit more, to be like, okay, that's what's going on. So stuff like that. But no, I mean, there's something else. So you're also a teacher, right? In the SMS role as teacher. What is something that you think right now, use this platform, because I'll tell you right now, if you didn't know it, SMS actually does watch these videos. Not everybody, but there are devs and community managers and whoever else that watch these videos and sees things. So use this platform right now to give 1, 2, 3 things that you think that would be better if SMS were to change and help the teachers out in some way.
That's a tough one, honestly. I mean, one thing that comes to mind is just being able to have access to certain things, like information that may not be posted in places, or updated aspects on the website, things like that. Like, obviously that's not like a huge deal because we all play the game and we kind of know the aspects and everything now, but to use it as a reference point, you don't have anything accurate to use. So I mean, things like that, maybe availability of like parts, top down views of like parts of the map or something. Maybe you want to go into a video about like how to do your jungle or something like that, having the ability to get like a top down kind of view, stuff like that. I mean, everything else is pretty much available, at least for the extent of the stuff that I have been doing my videos on, like beginner stuff. Now, if you wanted to get into more detailed, like more advanced teaching, that's a little bit different. I'm sure there's probably, you could get like a, list or a spreadsheet of different values and things like that and what they do. But I would say for the basic stuff, just the availability of the materials or references to use.
Okay. All right. Now we're going to make Mangoose jump into Discord, and he's going to go check the concept vault out because I know he hasn't looked at it recently. You have been going insane and dropping concepts of different heroes in concept vault. So not only are you creating videos to help new players learn heroes, not only are you a teacher trying to help new players learn the game, you're also trying to help expand the game and dropping different heroes. I've only seen heroes. Have you been putting items out there as well? So you've been putting concepts. All right, so you've been putting concepts out there for crazy. If people watch the partner panel, that I try to pay attention as much as I can in the Discord. So I follow a lot. If I see something new happen in the Discord, I get that little bubble. I go check it out. So I do see. I couldn't remember if it was you that I was seeing, because I know Marco was doing items. Black Tim's been doing items for a while. They've been putting a lot of items out there. So I've been like, I first saw yours, I'm like, oh man, this is an actual hero. Let's read up on the hero. So You've been putting in some work, and these are actually your drawings on these pictures that I've been seeing, or where are these drawings coming from?
So the hand drawn ones, those are mine.
Okay.
The AI, or like the pictures that look more digitalized and stuff, those are pulled from like that AI design software that's getting popular. I tried it out for a little while. I was actually really enjoying it, using it, just because it gives you a different, you can put in prompts basically, and it gives you like a generated image.
Right.
So it might help you like realize a hero design or something like that. But the hand drawings, yes, those are mine.
Okay.
Very cool.
And so where are you getting all of this? Like, hey, I want a hero that has this ability, this ability, this ability. Where is that coming from? Like, where do you get the motivation or the creative genius to be able to pull out that stuff?
Sometimes it's just from playing the game and thinking like, man, what would be good in this situation? This. Or sometimes it's like, hey, what type of hero would go good in this situation? And some of it's even lore based. Like some of it I'll look at like a hero that's in the game and think like, man, you could really expand on this like storyline or something. Like, how like Chimera and Grux have a constant struggle, or at least that's the lore behind them.
Right.
You could do something like that with any hero. So, and then sometimes it's just I do draw something up and I think it looks really cool, and I'm like, I could turn that into something maybe.
Nice. I love it. I love sitting there reading them and kind of catching up. And like, all right, I get those ideas. I'm nowhere close to having the ability to do all of that stuff. Mangoose knows, he was there for my stream when I did it. I sat there and I created a bearded Wolverine character, and we sat there, thought up the whole hero kit that he could use and things. Like I literally went like in detail, like what a Wolverine is and what they're known for and their advantages and their abilities. So I made abilities off it, but like that, that literally took a whole stream and a lot of viewers input, to create something. It wasn't something that I could say, I'm just gonna make this off the top of my head. So this is Killswitch. Yes, this is Killswitch, Jack. All good. You can catch up on it when it's on the YouTube version on Wednesday. WinduTheMace's channel. We got to put something on his channel because he needs content because he's been sick this whole time. So
ATM.
Just
What
ATM.
was did you get sick, Mangoose?
I just said it, ATM.
So, yeah, no,
a little more than he was prepared for.
Right. Fun fact: Hugh Jackman didn't know Wolverines were real when he did research for the role. Really?
God, remember when we watched that video of that Wolverine taking a fucking moose down?
Yeah,
A
that was
fucking moose?
yeah.
Oh.
Fucking, he owned that moose. Yeah, that was pretty badass. And that just made me even more proud to be the bearded Wolverine. So I was all about it. I'm like, this is great.
I really like Jez. I like this concept, Jez.
Which one's that?
Gage is cool, but I think it's just me with a handlebar mustache and hair.
and a double barrel shotgun.
Yeah. Oh, the Jester. Yep. You had an ADC one too. I think was that the first one you dropped. I think was the ADC or
So
maybe you have multiple ADCs.
Couple in there. There's actually one that I did up a little ways that's a melee ADC type concept, but then there's probably
damn, you've been kicking ass with this, man. Like literally just peppered Killswitch's name. So for any of you that want to look at the stuff we're talking about, I mean, I sorry, this was like a last minute. I thought Windu was gonna be going live with us. He wasn't able to make it, so I don't have the screen pulled up, but it's in the concept vault. You go to the SMS's Discord in the concept vault, and then you'll be able to see. You scroll through there. There's a bunch of stuff, and just I mean, it's not just Killswitch. Again, Black Tim's has stuff in here. Morpheus has stuff in here. Marco has stuff in here. But it's all great stuff, and it's a great concept. It just kind of gives you that idea of like how much like this game can actually grow, and that's the biggest thing. And like that's what I love seeing from it. It's like the idea of like having all of this here is like, damn. You had one job and it wasn't to allow Windu on. Great job. Thanks, honey. I appreciate the sub, brother. Windu, I hope he does start to get well. He wasn't feeling so well today, so he wasn't able to make it. But no, dude, like literally, shout out to you. I know we're just praising you here with the videos of that, but like, again, you're going above and beyond. And I definitely felt you deserved the shout out because of it. So, everybody, like I said, I think I should still have go check out that link right there. That's his link to his YouTube. Definitely give him a subscription because it doesn't cost anything. And then go in and watch a video and comment on the video and give the like to it.
And if you guys have stuff to add to these videos, I say this in my videos too, but if you've got stuff that I didn't cover or missed, throw it in there as well, because that's what these are for, is to just, it's knowledge. It's not, I'm not flexing on anybody saying I play Kwong better than you. So,
but you do play Kwong better than me.
I was gonna say, I guarantee you play Kwong better than I do.
Yeah. The fact that you play Kwong means you play it better than me. So, but yeah, no, I think I even said that with Skynet. Like, go into the video, give constructive criticism. Because if anything, all you can do is just get better from what you're doing. You're doing a great job as it is, but just to get better, we all want to grow as the content creators that we are. Even one day maybe we can, you and me, Killswitch, we can have thumbnails as good as Mangoose's thumbnails. I mean, actual YouTube. If you saw his thumbnails, they are not that great. But hey, there's Windu. Hey, Windu's in chat, guys. Everybody say hi to Windu. I play Kwong better than Bearded. I have to set the bar a little higher than that. Well, first you have to play the game there, Huddy. You don't actually play the game, so that's different. The thumbnail's all he has. Sorry, I'm not there. All good, Windu, man. Take care of yourself. All right. But I really don't have much more to talk about. I know this is less than our 2-hour minimum, but like, and I know, Mangoose is itching to get out of here, so
I gotta pee.
I gotta pee. So let's do our closing remarks here, and we'll go with that. Sorry, it's a short show, guys, but like, we just still got much to talk about. Hopefully next week, SMS will drop something for us. So, Killswitch, what do you got for the community, or for SMS, or for me? Tell me to shut up. I don't care.
I won't do that. I might think. No, I'm just kidding. But, just I again appreciate all the love for the YouTube channel and everything. I appreciate all the feedback and all the ideas and stuff, the shorts and TikTok stuff. That might be something coming down the pipeline maybe here pretty soon. So keep an eye out for that. But I just, again, let's make these videos the best we can. Feedback, comments, whatever it may be. Just keep on doing your thing. And like I said, if I don't have one out for you weekly, I'll usually let you know. But stay tuned every Tuesday.
There we go. Goose.
I just keep on keeping on. Like I said, a lot of people actually do prefer Fault. Maybe that will benefit them in the end. So don't give up on them just yet, because SMS never gave up on us, right? So like, let's return that loyalty a little bit. Like, they've continued to produce a game for us. Let's continue to support them as much as we can. And the Windu, MTA, man, never ATM.
All right.
Hold on, Windu, Killswitch looking like Ryan's baby brother, Ryan Red.
Hey, he does have a red jersey on. I guess that's kind of the same thing. So first to Killswitch, thanks for coming on. Really appreciate it. It was great having you here. And a little idea maybe with your concepts you got going on here. maybe some YouTube shorts, some TikToks, just kind of talking about them, like you giving your opinion on it, instead of it just being posted in here and we all read it, you just kind of giving your reasoning of that. Hey, this is this person, this is what I was thinking. A little YouTube short on that'd be great. That, just more content for you to make and just to kind of put more stuff out there. No, Mangu said it best, man. SMS has been here.
ATM?
Yes, that too. You said that best. It's just, keep the loyal. They've been loyal to us. They do have their issues, yes, but hopefully they're working through it, and they can get better as they go. Are they improving as fast as we would like? Maybe not. But again, like I was saying earlier, if we didn't have these other games in the horizon, then maybe we wouldn't be as impatient as we are. So let's just kind of give them that time. They are the smallest of the teams, and hopefully they can work through it. And to SMS, in my opinion, work on getting investors, because you need to improve this team. You need to get this team bigger. And, the better you can make this team, the better you can make this game. So we need improved player base. Player base is the biggest thing. To improve that, I believe, is optimization, polish of this game. Let's get us there. All right. On that note, I am slacking and I don't have anybody to raid just yet. So give me a minute and I will find somebody.
Oh, Jesus, spirited.
I know. I'm a failure at life. It is what it is. Things will get better.
SMS, Jesus.
All right.
Low blow. They weren't even expecting that one. That one came out of nowhere. I wasn't even expecting that one. That one left my mouth before my brain could fucking stop it. Oh, Jesus.
All right. So let's go show one of the old boys a good time here. So again, appreciate y'all for coming. And then for those of you who don't know, this is updated on Wednesdays, or posted on Wednesdays on Windu's channel around noon Eastern Standard Time, and on Wednesdays. And then it's also updated, uploaded to podcast form, Google Podcast, Spotify Podcast, and Apple Podcast. So you can get them there as well. But appreciate y'all for hanging out. And I think there was somebody that said something to me, but anything for so much for doing this, guys. I'm very sorry. Shout out to Killswitch. Yeah, Killswitch doing great. All good, Windu, man. So yeah, on that note, we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.